Hello and welcome back, future scientists. I'm Mr. K with Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and we're going to continue looking at the science portion of the ACT today. So we've talked about how you can increase your score on the science portion of the ACT. I've talked about annotating, I've talked about graphic literacy and practicing that. What I wanted to talk about today is some science content that you can focus on that will probably be on the next science portion of the ACT that you take that might help you increase your score. Okay, overall, what you really want to do is practice your graphic literacy and your time management skills. But if you feel like you have a good handle on those and you're just struggling with the actual science knowledge, this is some things you can do to prepare for that and to increase your score that way. So let's talk about the science content that's on the ACT. Okay, so the ACT science test and course variation. So the ACT assumes students have completed at least 1 year of high school biology and 1 year of physical science, though it does not specify between chemistry, physics, or earth and space science. Students should have a foundation in middle school physical science that covers basic concepts across these subjects. So you might be in a situation where you haven't taken chemistry or physics, or you haven't taken earth and space science. But what you do in middle school, you do a lot of physical science stuff in middle school, that should be enough to at least orient yourself so you kind of know what's going on. A lot of the experiments that they're doing in the ACT are very complex, so you wouldn't really know them that well even if you did take these classes in high school, but even what you talk about in middle school is enough to help you on the science portion of the ACT. Okay? They are assuming that you've taken biology, and they're assuming that you'll take most of these by the time you graduate, but by the time when you walk in on test day, they're assuming that you've at least done biology. And that's why there's always 2 biology passages on the ACT. Okay? The ACT does not expect students to have learned all the subjects on the test, and many students meet or exceed benchmark scores without full mastery of these concepts. So it just goes to show the science benchmark. That's saying, hey, if you can hit this score, you'll probably make a B or a C in that class in biology when you go to college. A lot of people hit that score without taking physics or chemistry. But if you do, you're more familiar with it, you'll feel more confident when you get to those portions on the ACT, and that's going to increase your time a little bit. So it's not required, although it will help. Okay, let's keep looking at these. So here are some biology concepts that might be on the ACT. This is not all of them, but these are common biology topics. Since students are expected to have taken at least 1 year of high school biology, 2 of the 6 passages will cover biology topics. Here are some common biology topics. These aren't all of them, but these are ones that show up more often than not. Animal behavior, animal development and growth, biochemical structure and function, body systems, cellular respiration, cell structure and processes, ecology, enzymes, evolution, genetics and gene expression, mitosis and meiosis, photosynthesis, plant development, growth and structure, population and communities, and taxonomies. Again, this is not an exhaustive list, but these are common topics that make it onto the test. Let's talk about chemistry. So each science test includes at least 1 chemistry passage, with some tests featuring 2. Most questions can be answered using only information provided in the passage. Core chemistry concepts, students are not required to perform complex calculations or have in-depth knowledge of chemistry topics. Some fundamental concepts, though, are boiling point of water in Celsius, solution concentrations, and the pH scale. Here are some more chemistry topics that are common for the ACT, not an exhaustive list, but some things you might want to go look at if you're feeling not very confident about chemistry. You might get passages about atomic structure, chemical bonds, chemical equations, chemical reactions, chemical thermodynamics, equilibrium, gas laws, kinetic molecular theory, kinetics, matter, molecular and ionic structure, organic chemistry, the periodic table, phase changes, properties of solutions, or stoichiometry. Physics. Physics on the ACT, very similar to chemistry. Each science test includes at least one physics passage. Some tests have two. The ACT acknowledges that students may not have taken physics prior to the test. For physics passage, there are some expectations for these. Most questions can be answered with information provided in the passage, and students are not required to perform complex calculations or memorize all physics concepts and formulas. Here are some physics topics that might be included in a passage. You might get questions about conservation laws, electricity, energy and work, fluids, work and motion, gravity, light and optics, kinematics, magnetism, modern physics, momentum, Newton's laws, projectile motion, simple harmonic motions, and sound waves. Lastly, we have Earth and Space Science. Earth and Space Science courses are less commonly taken in high school than biology, chemistry, and physics. Most information needed to answer questions will be provided in the passage. Earth and Space Science passages have some expectations. Topics may be familiar to students from news, everyday observations, or early school studies. Again, a lot of that middle school science, you'll hit a lot of the Earth and space stuff that you need to know. Students do not need to memorize all details, but will benefit from a basic understanding of the subject matter. And here are some Earth and space science topics that might be incorporated in the passage or the questions. You might need to do some reading about Earth's atmospheres, Earth's resources, earthquakes and volcanoes, fossils and geologic time, geochemical cycles, groundwater, human impacts on the environment, oceans, plate tectonics and Earth's interior, rocks and minerals, solar systems, stars, galaxies, and the universe, the water cycle, weather and climate, and weathering and erosion. So if you're struggling with the science portion of the ACT, specifically the science content, these are things you might want to look at. Your teacher has some other work for you to do today, so make sure to give that your best effort, and I hope everybody has a great day.